Hello everyone, the Flying Scotsman here, and welcome to the fourth episode of TFS Christmas 2019. Now, on a night during the Christmas period, you might, if you're lucky, have time to sit down and catch up on some evening TV. And usually at this time of year, there's some gritty detective drama on. Or sometimes there's a lot of gritty detective dramas. So, for example, in 2013, there was a lot of Poirot on. However, what if you wanted to actually be an active participant in the detective drama that you were watching on the TV? Well, thanks to this wee gem from Rockstar Australia, you can. Now, before I go any further, I will warn you that this game does have very coarse language, quite gruesome scenes. And because we're going to be playing a bit of this game in this video, it does too. Unfortunately, it has, in the first mission, there is what is now considered a racialist slur uttered. That said, a lot of this game was very of its time. It's, I think the reason it's called L A Noire is essentially because it's trying to be a film noir of the 1940s. In fact, this game is set in 1947, Los Angeles. And it's pretty good at doing that. You know, it's... It is pretty good at what it does with that. So, let's actually go ahead now and start the game. Now, unlike Grand Theft Auto, while this game does have a big world for you to explore, and you can explore all parts of it within the mission, it is actually more of a linear game, a bit like, not necessarily like Red Dead Revolver, but it is certainly more of a linear game. So when a mission ends, you can't just go somewhere on the map and bring up the next objective.
A city on the verge of greatness. A new type of city, based not on the man, but on the automobile. The car. A symbol of freedom and vitality. Where every man can own his own home, and have room to breathe and not be overlooked by his neighbors. A city where a man's home is his castle. A quarter acre of the dream made possible by victory. A city of opportunists. A city of dreams, where Hollywood will shape the thoughts and desires of the entire planet. A city of pioneers. A city of dreamers. A city of undercurrents, where not everything is as it seems. A 20th century city that will become a model for the world. A city that has no boundaries, that will stretch as far as the eye can see. In the Marine Corps, you deal with the chain of command. Mistakes get made, but you deal with them. You know what you're fighting for, and that you're on the same team. But dealing with corruption is like chasing shadows. You never know whether the guy you're talking to is on the pad, or whether it's your partner, or maybe even the watch commander. So who do you trust, Cole? I made up my mind a long time ago.
KGBL calling car.
So this is the first mission, and you're dropped into it.
14 Adam, see the detective, an ambulance shooting at 6th and Industrial Street. Unit 16 William requests uniform assistance for an evidence search. 14 Adam, code 2.
Roger, 14 Adam en route.
Here we
So
go
this game
again.
has
They don't
no
request
safe
uniforms for an
house.
evidence search unless there's some kind of catch.
And I'm going to switch off the music here. I must admit, I recorded the footage and it wasn't actually picking up stuff from my microphone. So I'm actually re-recording the voice
From the beam
afterwards.
of
In fact, I'm
sunshine
sat here
himself.
watching the video that I recorded earlier and just dubbing my voice over it. I love the sound of these old-timey sirens.
Floyd Rose, homicide. You my backup?
Yes, sir. Phelps and Dunn, Wilshire Division.
We had a shooting took place down this alleyway. We have the Vic, Scooter Payton, a Negro male bagged up and on his way to Central Morgue. Witness says a tall white guy, our shooter, put 2 in the Vic's head and then threw his piece. I need you guys to try and recover the gat.
You want us to look anywhere in particular?
Give it your best shot, guys. The dead guy's a lowlife. I'm not expecting any miracles here.
And if we recover the weapon?
Bag it and return it to technical services.
You hurry it up, Floyd. We
I'm
got
outta
places
here.
to be.
Happy hunting.
This is a fist pump.
So now you're on the hunt for clues.
You're probably right.
Now, when you
Let's just
pick up,
get it
when
over and
you
done.
All right,
come
have it your
upon
way.
something that is
We'll search right up to the back
a
wall.
potential
If you still
clue,
don't come up
you'll
with
get
anything,
a
come
wee
find
piano
me,
ding.
and we'll talk it out. 2 heads are always better than one.
It'll be coming up in a minute.
Look at this junk. It's not my job to pick through other people's trash.
Probably not.
So you can pick things up and you can look them over.
What have you got, Phelps? Anything?
Yes, that's a beer bottle.
Doesn't give me anything to go on.
Cole, come take a look at
That's
this.
another beer bottle. Now, when I was playing through this game, I
No.
thought that brown bottle had a Budweiser label on it, but turns out that's not what it was.
Doesn't tell me anything.
I always get landed with this crap.
Oh, here we go. Now, one thing that I will say is that when you come upon a clue and you hear the piano sound, the controller will vibrate if you have that enabled.
Dr. Fontaine. Could I have a
So
word?
you get
Of
a
course,
cinematic
young
of the
man.
I really
backstory.
enjoyed your lecture, Doctor. Psychiatry seems to have a tremendous amount to offer.
Why, thank you. I'm always happy to receive acknowledgement for my work. The mind is the last great mystery in medicine. Are you thinking of specializing, Mr.
Sheldon, or Courtney Sheldon. I'm only in second year, Doctor. They fast-tracked
Obviously,
me
this is actually all in all
Because of
quite
my
a simple
experience
mission.
during-
I mean, it is the first one.
That's what I wanted to
But
talk
it does introduce you to some of the mechanics of the
Battle
game.
fatigue
Later on,
and collapsing
I'm not going to show this here, but later on,
Can it be helped?
I
you
would
do
say yes,
get options whether you want to be
given
good
the right
cop or
set of
bad cop.
circumstances.
But
Trauma
here
forces
you're
the mind
basically
to
just
close
a
down,
beat
treat
officer.
in on itself. We try to
But
find
as
ways
you
to
go up
unlock
through the
the
game,
mind.
you become a detective.
A combination of therapy and drug treatment. Hypnosis and therapy are powerful tools in the right hands, Sheriff.
I've been to visit some of the guys at the VA hospital. A good friend of mine so far away.
And as you complete missions, you do get some of
through a lot
Phelps's
together. Yes,
backstory.
Doctor.
Cole Phelps, badge
Give
1247.
me his details and I'll make a prognosis. I have a number of clinics in Los Angeles, Courtney Sheldon. And your penance, for your friend's help, is to come and work at one of them in your spare time. With what little spare time a medical student has. Is that a deal?
Is it ever? I can't thank you enough.
I'm not promising a cure, Courtney. I want you to remember that. Every physician has patients that he cannot hope to cure, for whom he can only smooth the path to death.
Mind is the final frontier in medicine. So, go off, continue to sleuth. So there is no safe house in this game. When you finish a level, it immediately loads the next one. You don't go to a safe house, you don't go to a phone box to get notifications of different missions. You don't go to waypoints to start new missions either. It literally just is, well, it is what it is. And, you know, because it's more linear, I don't think it has the same amount of replayability as Grand Theft Auto. Especially as it's more of a, you know, answer the questions kind of game than it is, you know, an action game. Well, I mean, it has action elements. But it isn't necessarily all about action. A lot of it is about detective work. So I guess the replay value.
Shooter put him up against the wall and blew his brains
Nice.
out.
Hell of a way to go.
Doesn't really matter how you go once you're gone.
Don't get all deep on me, Phelps.
Any ideas?
Have a good look around. It could be anywhere.
So you get a wee notebook, and as you find clues, you speak to people and what have you, these things get noted, and you can go back to them, have a look over them, and this will trigger, well, it won't trigger missions itself, it will trigger parts of missions. It'll trigger jobs that you have to do, objectives that you have to fill, and then you can go and speak to folk and what have you. So I'm there looking through the notebook. Oh, I'm very tired right now. Actually, I've been on the go all morning. So, I'm away again. Cigarette belt.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that.
Now, this game was quite famous because it was able to use face capture technology to actually capture actors' faces and make them look...
Ralph, there's something on the rooftop.
How the hell did you see that?
A reflection in the window. Looks like it might be our weapon. I'm gonna see if I can find a way up there.
All right. Don't hurt yourself.
helps to make them look a wee bit more human. Unfortunately, they expended so much disk space on this. you know, they only had a few face actors.
The gun's up on the roof,
That
right?
apparently
So we need to
some of
find a way
them
up.
kind of look the same. And some people have kind of criticised this game, thinking that, you know, and thought that it could have maybe turned more, you know, it could have maybe been more, had more actual gameplay and less of the face acting stuff. Can't really say I've noticed. Then again, I am visually impaired and on the autistic spectrum, so I would know.
Building looks vacant. I don't want to wait around all night for the super to let us in. Is there a way up from the outside?
The election count is happening now, actually, at the time of recording. I should be out watching that. But, yeah. Actually, a word about these Christmas videos. I might not be able to do as many this year. I might actually have to, you know, kind of restrict it to between 6 and 10. I'm not sure. I mean, at the moment, you know, I've got video 5 recorded. That's done. Got, obviously, you'll have seen video 3 by the time it comes out. I do want to do, like, a few more. There's this stuff that I know that I want to cover, and I will try, but unfortunately, I really don't have the time. So it's going to be it's going to be a hell of a difficult one. So what you're seeing there is me being completely unable to identify what is a drain pipe. But, oh, look, I've got it. And actually, this has given me more time to actually talk to you about the game and the videos and everything else.
How you doing, Cole? Found it yet?
I need to, I really could do with seeing the election results. You guys will all know. I don't yet. Past me doesn't know. Oh, we found the gun. We found the gun. So, next what we're going to be doing is driving to the gun shop.
S71893. 2 rounds fired. And instead of dropping it down a drain, our shooter hoists it up here. Interesting guy.
We should follow up on this now, before the perp tries to leave town.
We have the gun, Cole. Let's take it back to Central. We could get a commendation.
Could show some initiative, Ralph, and see if we can come up with an owner.
That's a long shot, Cole.
It's a pretty fancy gun. You know a local gun store?
Sure. There's a place a couple of blocks from here.
So, we're away to drive the
no harm in doing
Polish
some
car
digging.
to a
The
gun
suits
shop.
didn't seem to give much of a damn.
Such a little Boy Scout, Cole. You can't wait to get out of that uniform, can you?
You'd rather round up drunks and help old ladies across the road?
I'd rather get through the day without the captain's foot up my ass.
It'll be fine, Ralph. You worry too much.
So there's a waypoint on the map, and I'm away to follow it. It doesn't have, obviously doesn't have turn-by-turn sat-nav like Grand Theft Auto 4, because it was the 1940s, such a thing didn't exist. Yeah. Now, this is quite an interesting game, actually, because, I mean, it wasn't originally made by Rockstar, I mean, this was a company that was bought by Rockstar. There's a lot of controversy with their working issues and what have you. I can't even remember the whole story, but Rockstar bought them out and named it I think it was Rockstar Australia or Rockstar New Zealand, I can't even somewhere down there. And it, this particular company, I think, wound up. Suffice this to say, there's probably not going to be an LA Noire 2. A bit of a shame, really, because I do like this game. But it's also quite interesting in that it's a Rockstar game where you're I guess the good guy. You know, if you believe in societal norms. Obviously, you're the protagonist who rolls her eyes and like, yeah, this is the thing. It's a bit terrible. Obviously, you could commit crimes if you wanted to, but I wouldn't. So this is basically a ye olde ammunition.
Officers Phelps and Dunn. Can you tell us anything about this gun?
Smith & Wesson, Model 27, registered Magnum. Chambered for .357, nickel-plated with pearl grips. Same gun used by General Pat.
You're not suggesting he's the owner?
No, I'm not.
You seem to know a lot about the weapon.
I ought to. I sold it. You know, this piece will stop a rhino. These babies are only available special order. Here's my Smith & Wesson order book.
You mind if I take a look?
Be my guest. This is about something bad, right?
Model 27 with pearl grips, Cole. You see it on there?
I'm just searching.
We're in luck. Errol Schroeder, 203 South Glass Street. Ordered the gun in February '46. Thanks, you've been a big help.
Anytime. Always happy to help out the LAPD.
I love the designs on some of these buildings. Later on in the game, you get
Let's see if he's at home.
visit
Owning the gun doesn't prove he
basically a
pulled the
yellow
trigger.
house.
Okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Lead the way, Gunga Din.
A lot of colour was used in the 1940s and 1950s to decorate people's houses. It just did not seem to be afraid.
Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Just because we're in uniform doesn't mean we can't use our initiative.
I guess so. Seems a little too good to be true. One-of-a-kind murder weapon, bought locally using a real name? If Schroeder's our shooter, he's no criminal mastermind.
Most of them aren't. That's why they get caught. And 2 out of every 3 crimes are done on impulse.
Another fact from the Phelps Encyclopedia of Thin Air. You really are full of it.
It's alright, don't worry about that. That's just my super amazing driving skills yet again. So this is quite a large map. But it is all downtown LA. But at the same time, I I did really enjoy playing this game. You know, when I started playing it in March last year. I mean, I've just not played it before then. I mean, I'm usually all over a lot of Rockstar properties, because as much as the way that the Manager Online stuff is absolutely terrible, the games themselves are generally pretty good. And L A Noire has, in my opinion, not disappointed. Although, the ending is a bit... yeah. But I haven't got there yet. I love some of these apartments. Some of them are really quite fancy. Some of them are not. But, I mean, it was the 1940s, back when, you know, things were actually designed
Schroeder,
and still,
apartment 2.
for the most part, kind of hand-built. You know, it's pretty amazing. Oh, here we go.
What do you guys
Here's the
want?
climax.
I'm Officer Cole Phelps. This is Officer Dunn, Wilshire Division. You're the owner of a Smith & Wesson Model 27, nickel-plated with pearl grips?
I might be. What of it?
Then you'll be surprised to know that Scooter Payton was murdered tonight with your gun.
You're out of your mind. Scooter? He works for me. I have that gun here in my drawer. What the fuck is going on here?
You're under arrest, Schroeder. Cuff him, Ralph.
No way. You're not taking me down for this. You ready, tough guy?
So, yep, you've got an action scene here. You've got a... as a Yorkshire person might put it, right, go pug it shit out of that lad. Well, it's nap time.
Ralph, you all right?
I'm fine. I hardly felt it. He's lucky he caught me off guard.
Keep an eye on him, Ralph. I'm gonna take a look around.
So I think after this mission is over, I think what I will do is I will end this video here. So we find a phone book. Or, no, it's just names and numbers.
List of names and a series of numbers. Floyd Rose's name is in this book.
Phelps, we can come out of this all bright and shiny with a commendation. Or stick our schlongs in a hornet's nest. Call it in, partner. And leave the book where you found it.
So,
Officer
that's
Phelps,
intermission.
that's 1247.
And the next thing that would happen is we'll go into one of Phelps' flashbacks. But yeah, that is LA Noire. Now, would I recommend buying it? Yeah, I would. I mean, it doesn't have the same replay value as, say, Grand Theft Auto, because it is more based upon, you know, finding things out than it is action. So, I mean, if you wanted to do the cases differently and try and get more points, which this one, it was pretty much linear. But if you wanted to try and do the cases differently,
You
those
dumb
that you could,
fucking sons of bitches, get
that
this
would have
line
some
now
replay
before I
value, I
lose
suppose.
my temper.
Excuse me, Sergeant, but...
Excuse me? Fuck you. You say another word and I'll break your fucking head and have you in the brig.
Some of us are here for...
I know why you're here, asswipe. I'm having a bad day, Private. Some people don't seem to want to get on this bus.
I didn't ask for your help.
He didn't ask for your help. Can you believe this guy? Who are you two? Abbott and Costello?
We're here for OCS, Sergeant.
So it's the three fucking stooges and you're here for OCS. God help this fucking country and the USMC. The Japanese will do the world a favor and kill you quickly. All three of you are on report. What are your fucking names?
Phelps.
Kelso.
Merrill. Any other gentlemen for OCS? OCS is at Elliott. You take the Camp Elliott bus over there. This bus is for MCRD. This bus is for men who want to fight.
So, there you have it. I do like some of the loading screens that you get with this game. But, apart from all that, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and please join me for my next one, the next episode of TFS Christmas 2019. Cheery bye.